Returnal is just a few weeks away, and I feel like the hype is now building for the game, especially now that we're in the month of the release of the game. It's getting pretty excited, and I think people are getting excited, and just today, the PlayStation blog has dropped a great hands-on preview of the game done by Gillen McAllister, Senior Specialist Content Communications over at Sony Interactive Entertainment, and while I do think people are getting excited, I think the trailers have looked fantastic. They have been very flashy, very vibrant, and given us a sense of the PlayStation 5's technical prowess. I did notice in a lot of social media posts, comments on YouTube videos, and things of that nature, a lot of people were still confused on what exactly to expect out of this game, and maybe just me hyping up, saying, hey, it's done by the studio that did Super Stardust and Nex Machina. Well, that doesn't completely sell a person that's not familiar with Housemarque on the game, and you need more insight on what this game exactly is. This gives us a lot of specific points that I think are rather interesting, a lot of points that have been gone over before, but now you get it in an article format. And again, check out the blog post. I think you guys are going to enjoy it quite a bit and get insight. I'm only going to read portions of it and give you guys my thoughts on that. So the overall start of the game draws Celine, a Greek-American Astra deep space scout, to an unmapped world that is due to a broadcast signal. Her arrival onto Atropos is a violent one. An explosive accident mid-orbit sends her ship Helios spiraling into a crash landing. This sequence is an excellent early showcase for what the studio's got in store for us with the DualSense controller's haptic feedback. Obviously, haptic feedback, a big talking point with just about not even PlayStation 5 exclusives. I think every game is just touting like haptic feedback, but it was noted every metal crunching impact is mimicked on the controller. When a flaming Helios roars across the width of your TV screen, you feel that fatal flyby through your hands. Now, speaking of the controller, we're going to get into something rather interesting with the controller that I find incredible, so just a second for that. But obviously, her ship got down. She's not out of it. She's got a scientist's tenaciousness, as was noted, and you've got a sidearm with you. Between the signal's origin and her are multiple biomes, each a labyrinth of interconnected areas, and all of these biomes do look vastly different. So it's not these similar locations you're going to constantly go to. They are going to have a vast array of different locations for you to go through. It's not this gigantic open world by any stretch of the imagination, but a game like this probably shouldn't be, especially with this replayable continuous gameplay style of game that they're going for here. I think the style of world design that they've opted for is going to work really well. Because obviously when you die, you resurrect at the crash site and so on and so forth, and the weaponized world has reshaped and you gotta go through it again. Now, the controller, I find this incredible. Maybe I'm overselling it a little bit, but I'll get to why I find it incredible in just a second. The DualSense controller's adaptive triggers at work. It was specifically noted L2 will lock halfway when pulled for a zoomed-in focus aim. This also highlights enemy weak spots in red. Pull fully down to activate your weapon's alt-fire mode. You can monitor alt-fire cooldown with your HUD and keep an ear out for a specific audio ping that plays when recharge is complete. But there's a cool detail that DualSense controller specific. If you keep the trigger pulled after discharge, you'll feel a low-level vibration that'll steadily increase in intensity, marching the weapon's alt-fire recharge cycle. So they are opting in a lot of components to just that L2 trigger, and I find that pretty cool because a lot of the times you think of, from a developer standpoint, how are they going to get all the keys and all of the different abilities and movements and everything like that mapped onto a controller? Well, now they're doing so much with just an L2 trigger. I do find this element incredible, and they're doing a lot here, but that also opens the door. What can other games do? And we'll leave that for another day because we'll see how other games do opt in for that. And we've seen it at work before, but I feel like we're just scratching the surface with it, but Returnal is really doing a good job with that. Now, obviously, the gameplay hook of Returnal is all about the procedural generation and roguelike nature, but the story is going to be an element of the game as well. Each cycle will reorder every biome's areas and their contents. Variations that are paired with the game's brooding, bristling score make exploration ever dangerous, even as you grow proficient in navigating through the world as Celine. Now, Celine does have an in-depth character story, and she's gonna be a character that hopefully you'll get invested into. The Astra Scout isn't a trigger-happy super soldier, thoughtful rather than cavalier. She has a scientist's mind and an explorer's tenacity. She's also human. That steadfast persona slow unravels, sold convincingly by Jane Perry's grounded vocal performance, uncertainly slowly creeps into the edges of her analytical monologues, while recovered audio logs, voice recordings of another self, is it future or is it past, that tease upcoming encounters unsettle with their increasing erraticness. Personally speaking, Celine does look to be a character with a lot of depth to it. Looks like a psychology element is also a big part of Returnal's character development, so we'll see how Celine plays out in the entirety of the game. That's just what I noticed from all the trailers, that while you're playing Returnal, Celine's mental state is going to be a big part of her character development, so we'll see how that turns out once again. Now, shifting to a gameplay standpoint, when I talk about Returnal, I often talk about Housemarque's signature gameplay style of action-heavy, great particle effects, and Returnal definitely has that, and you see that in the flashy trailers. However, what I find kind of fascinating within this blog post, and it notes, while you're never far from a firefight, Returnal is as much an explorative platformer as it is a shooter. You're not plowing through a set number of small area-style kill boxes in quick succession. Level design is hugely varied, and you have breathing room to explore. For the majority of your playtime, a good 2/3 of the screen real estate is dedicated to the world around you. Yes, that's also to best assess threat placement during combat, but it also captures the colossal scale of the alien civilization. Smaller touches outside combat sell the atmosphere, the indistinct call of wildlife in the far distance, writhing grass that's one of the planet's non-aggressive life forms. And then also on exploration, doorways open to claustrophobic alleys, multi-floor structures, tiny caves, partially destroyed bridges, hidden catacombs, and side rooms are rife. Traps, interactive alien devices, and the items needed to access them are nested in there, such as fabricators which generate items, or the reconstructor, a one-time resurrection machine you'll return to on death, keeping you in the current cycle with loadout intact. So there is going to be quite a bit of exploration in this game, and maybe you'll want to explore every nook and cranny, or maybe you're going to be one that's just going through the game at a more quicker pace. Unreachable spots will taunt you until you found and incorporated the right alien tech to access in future cycles. Oh, sounds like a pretty familiar gameplay aspect in a Metroidvania title, but it's employed in this bigger budget roguelike 3D shooter, which is an interesting combination. You're given a general compass direction to your central goal, but you're otherwise free to explore as much or as little as you like. It should be reiterated, game isn't a colossal open world, but exploration is definitely one of the key pillar elements by the looks of it, and especially by this blog post. Further exploration and backtracking will help you upgrade equipment, unlock sealed sections, and delve into the lore of the long-dead civilization. Alternatively, focus on combat and stack the odds increasingly against you. It's your choice. So it seems like you're going to be completely left up to your devices as far as that's concerned, whether or not you want to do all the backtracking in the world, upgrade everything, which is probably something you're gonna want to do given some of the crazy fights you're gonna be in this game, and given some of the footage we're seeing on this post. Yeah, some of it is looking pretty wild, but that's the main points I wanted to cover in this video. There's a lot more in the blog post, and I highly recommend you give it a look in the description box below, because while I am super excited for the game, and I think a lot of other people are coming on board, especially because this is the main PlayStation 5 game in quite a while, I do see a lot of people still being on the fence and this not being a game that completely sells them on it. And what I'm seeing is, after some of my friends read this post, they're like, okay, I'm starting to get an idea of the game, but that's only an anecdotal observation. And hearing from you guys what you guys think of all this new information, let me know in the comments section down below. Are you any more excited about the game? Are you definitely gonna pick it up come the end of this month? Sound off with all of your thoughts. Check out the blog post. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.